Mike Summerbee on this one.
Mike Summerbee, we're here tonight to honour George Best. Can't believe it's 60 years since he made his debut.
Well, no, it's I don't know how many years it is since he passed away. That's even worse for me. You know, I mean, I played against him when he was just after he made his debut. I was playing for City in United, and then we had a great friendship. So you know, it was good. But it was a great one of the great players you've ever seen in life. So tremendous.
Back in those days, United players and City players used to socialise quite a lot, didn't you?
Yeah, well, it's the same today, I would think. But in those days, we all met up. You met up in town or whatever you wanted to do. I mean, some were married, some weren't. George and me weren't married, so we met up after the game and just enjoyed ourselves. We're young, so we're not, and he was good looking, so all the girls came after him, and I was lucky then.
So he made a good wingman then?
Yes, I was okay. Yeah, I was okay.
And when did you know he was a special player?
When you walk on the field and you play with someone like that, or play against someone like George Best, and you're talking something very, very special, and you're talking about the hardest league in the world. Even in those days, the conditions weren't particularly good. There was things in those days called tackling, when people used to kick lumps at you, and he just used to ride things.
I was going to say it used to be a contact sport back in those days. It's a totally different game, isn't it?
Well, it is, yeah, but it's different eras, right? There was a different game before we played, and then there's a different era in this era now. So, it's the era I played in was more physical, and it was good. I enjoyed it. I wouldn't change it for anything.
Happy times. But obviously George would have been a superstar whatever era he played in.
He'd be untouchable today because there's no tackling today. And even in our era when there were people tackling and kicking lumps out of him, he used to ride that and carry on. But today he'd be unstoppable. Unbelievable.
And he was the first original superstar footballer, wasn't he? Because he wasn't just a football player, he did lots of other things as well, didn't he?
No, he came back from I knew George from the very early times when we were both in digs. And then he came back from a game in a European game, and he came back and that's when George Best became a superstar. But he never changed as a person. Not for me, he might have done for other people, but we had a great friendship, simple as that. He was just a great lad. He was from Ireland and he was a little bit homesick sometimes, and I was the same way, so we met up and we enjoyed ourselves. And he was my best man when I got married, so I mean, you don't get a better friendship than that.
Absolutely. We were talking to James Nesbitt before, and he was talking about a sports shop, was it?
It was a shoe shop and a suits, and it's still there owned by some other people. But we had like a boutique. It was very good. We enjoyed it. It was somewhere for us to go after the training. You could go there, have a coffee or some lunch, and then go back to the shop. It was very good. We enjoyed it.
Happy times. The thing about George Best is, doesn't matter what era you come from as a fan, people still worship George Best. The guys the older guys like us that remember him playing, but younger people have George Best as their idol because he made such an impact. Timeless, wasn't he?
You're talking about a great footballer, a young player, good looking, quick, had every ability in the world. So you're talking about somebody very special, and people loved him. Everybody loved him. Whatever team they supported, they used to go to games and they didn't support Manchester United. They might be Wolverhampton Wanderers supporters going to watch Wolves play, and George Best was playing. They go to watch him play.
Absolutely. I mean, nowadays people are obsessed with talking about Messi and Ronaldo. Where would you put George Best?
You've got different eras, haven't you? But at the end of the day, you put Messi in our era, where Messi's used to being kicked and all that, but he's very similar to what George was. George Best and Messi were very similar in the way they played and the way they could handle the tackling that was going on, trying to put them out of the game. George Best was George Best. I don't compare him with anybody. For me, he was top.